Yo, check it. I'm about to explain the recent Supreme Court decisions from my perspective. And I'm sure y'all will understand. It will be about the three Scouters decisions: the Chevron deference, Trump's immunity, and the homeless. But first, watch this video. I recently just made it, so it should be one or two videos before this one. So you have a better standing on the word elect versus other words they use to confuse you, such as selected or appointed. First, the Chevron deference. Let's start off with the Supreme Court has always been the only real court that is guaranteed to use elected officials all the time. The only other real court is criminal court because they deal with the law because somebody probably got hurt. The only issue with that is that they're corrupt. They normally allow people that isn't elected to step into their courts and play their game, which is a conflict of interest. So all other courts, such as civil court, isn't real because there's no elected officials. To keep it simple, for instance, those judges aren't real judges. So basically the state's only elected officials, chosen by the public, can make decisions for their jurisdiction. Now you see all these stories how the way they saying it weakens the Fed, right? It's because those are private businesses. Think about it. If we don't know who runs the Fed, how is it possible we publicly elected someone we don't know? This means they was appointed and then created policies over the law. This is what's being canceled out because of deceiving the public. So I'm about to explain the difference of an officer and a deputy. It's almost the same thing, but all on different levels. So check this out. Are police chiefs elected or appointed? The chief of a city police department is usually appointed by the mayor, another city official, or a group of city officials. They are selected from a pool of candidates within the city's police department and outside police departments. Large metropolitan areas have selected police commissioners. Some townships and counties have sheriff departments. The sheriff is the top officer and is also chosen by the public through elections. To gain these positions, police commissioners and sheriff candidates campaign throughout the election season to make the case for voters as to why they're the best person for the job. So you see, the police chief is appointed, while the sheriff is elected. And don't let the word police commissioner confuse you neither. A police commissioner may be an experienced police officer through some are politically appointed or elected civilians, not sworn police officers. So they have police in their name, but they're not even a police officer. So they're not even in the same category at all. But as you can see, he'll hand all the work to the chief of police. And I just explained to y'all what that is. So I made this real quick for a quick visual of what I just said. But notice there's a difference of the law, the statute, and the policy. So basically police don't really have any real power from the public, but they enforce the policy and statutes. I mean, it literally says policy enforcement. Then you got the deputies, which is supposed to enforce the law. And usually this is when there's an injury to someone. But as I mentioned earlier, they are corrupt. Hence the reason why they follow policies and statutes also. Let's start paying attention to their vehicles so y'all can see there's a clear difference. Deputy sheriffs will usually have that on there. It may also have peace officer or law enforcement. And I promise you, you will never see police on a deputy vehicle because they shouldn't be enforcing policy. I mean, their vehicles literally the complete opposite colors. In my town, one's white and one is black. Y'all remember back in the day when they was talking about defund the police, right? It's because it's obvious that too many officers are going rogue and it's becoming too much for the sheriffs to handle. Well, at least the ones that actually want to do good for their communities. This is why you usually see the deputies out with the community, gaining trust in order to get and keep and maintain the power of the people. They know exactly what they are doing energetically. The Chevron deference basically is giving the power back to the public. But of course, the public don't know that we have the power. Think about it like this. If there was a community of 100 people, they elect one of the 100 people to be a mayor. Now this mayor has the power of 100 people of the community because of the trust and judgment. And then we give them access to our QV trust, which is our social security number, which holds all our credit that is used to support the community. So this mayor creates all kinds of laws that the whole community agrees with. He then selects one of the 100 people to control the food. Let's call this person FDA. So the FDA decided to make their own policies for the food. Further down the line, the FDA starts to get greedy and abuses power by buying cheaper GMO foods. In turn, people don't like because people are starting to get sick from this food. Before this case, The FDA can say we're following all our rules and regulations. There's nothing wrong for as long as they want. So after the case, the elected official has to make the decision, usually by a vote of the people, because that's where all the power is at. You see, because before the FDA never really had the real power to change anything. They was just unchecked because of the loopholes in the laws. But now they can be checked and overthrown by the people, so your power matters. The Supreme Court's disastrous Trump immunity decision explained. The court's Trump immunity decision is a blueprint for dictatorship. The Supreme Court ruling will allow more aggressive homeless encampment removals. This is all a setup. I've been telling y'all they've been strategically doing all this. Why do y'all think y'all rent been skyrocketing? I know y'all heard about the FEMA camps. Now y'all definitely gotta watch this video because I'm literally showing y'all exactly what they're doing, and I've been doing this for years, and it's just unfolding. And I'm not even gonna lie, it's crazy to see that we are really living a movie. But yeah, like I say, check it out so you can see exactly where we are in their plans. Y'all don't think it's odd that they're making all these decisions at this accelerated rate? I already told y'all several times, 2025 is the last year of this reality. So dramatic changes have to be made in order to manipulate you into their reality. So yeah, I hope you have a better standing of the sick game they've been playing this whole time. As I mentioned before, definitely watch those videos because everything will link together and make sense. Anyways, y'all know how to keep it. Y'all be guys. Peace. Also, I forgot to mention on the Declaration of War against the United States of America by NASA, which is on my Instagram subscriptions. If you want to see the full presentation that literally shows the last 20 years before it happens. But y'all see all these agencies, right? These are the agencies I'm talking about that lost power because they don't have elected officials. And we all know what they really do. They all work together to keep us trapped here. Now, what you think they're going to do when they know they're on their last stand? It doesn't take rocket science. Wake up, people.